This is the seventh and final video. We're just going to show how to add decals instead of graffiti. Graffiti is more of a stencil. So I'll go ahead and delete, oops, try to undo what I just did. Let's see, where was it? Do Apple Z a couple of times because I lost my graffiti. All right, so we're gonna add stencils. Right now we're just doing some really rough stuff. We could have also put a pass on this to make that a little bit scratchier and wear and tear, but obviously this is fresh paint on there, so we want to add some graphics. All right, so really quickly, actually save me going to some old tutorials to figure out how to do decals. Sometimes I forget how to do stuff over a year. So I wanted to add some graphics, and what I did is just typed in radioactive. Also, I did a chemical sign. There's all kinds of chemical, corrosive. These are typically on these containers. If we go to pure ref, let's see. Like this one should have had some sort of chemical sign. It's by law that you have to, and of course, none of ours have examples. Anyways, do believe me. Basically what I did is did the same screen grab from website and then put it into a Photoshop really quickly. Let me show you how to do that. Some of you may not know how to set up a file, so I just did 1200. Let's do 1400 by 1400 and create. And what we would do is go ahead and create a new layer. So we have an alpha, and we're going to go ahead and delete that bottom one. All right, so you can see the checkerboard one. That's definitely what we want for a PSD. So we're going to go back into here and start grabbing some files. Again, we're not making a profit. It's just educational processes on how to do this. All right, and so I just did Command Control Shift 4, grabbed it, and Command V, Command T. I'll make this a little bit smaller. So I want you guys at least have 10 logos or stickers, Hello Kitty, whatever you want. I'm just doing 2 just to save on time, and we're gonna do radioactive. From Back to the Future, I always like the radioactive logo. All right, so we're gonna do that, and Command V, paste it in, and I'm gonna make this a little bit smaller. So try to do as many as possible. And we are in Photoshop, so we're gonna go in here. These are on different layers, and I'm gonna go ahead and hit Control Shift. That's a square. Let's see if there's a oval. Here we go. I want to get rid of that white. All right, so I'm going to click Shift. And then probably inverse it. Select. Let's see if we can inverse. There we go. And I'll hit Delete and get rid of my white. All right, I'm going to go to the other layer, hit Command T. Should just do that little guy. All right. Anyways, I'm just going to hit Shift, do it. That for some reason it has a whole bunch of stuff in there. Let's go to a rectangle, and I'm just going to go in here, slice and dice this thing apart. I just want to get rid of the white so that way you can see the power of a PSD. All right. Hit Enter. Or Apple D to clear it, Apple T, and we're going to flip this. All right, so try to do maybe 10 Hello Kitty to whatever cool surfboard you like, or whatever logos you like, Nike, or ones that you hate, maybe like Nike. All right, so what we're going to do is save as, or save, and I'm going to call it signs _2 because I've already done this, kind of to remember how to do this. You do forget. So we're going to go into Substance Painter. And again, I want you guys to add tons and tons of graffiti to add life to this boring oil drum. You can start to see it's definitely starting to look a little bit more realistic and has some really cool shine to it. But we want to add decals, so this will definitely add some cool vibe to it. So we're going to go up here, we're going to hit our paintbrush again, add layer, and make sure you follow this along. Once we have our paintbrush on, you'll see this is on there. So you just go in, you can delete that decal and it'll clear it out. All right, we don't want to do a decal like we did before. We're not going to drag this into the stencil. We're actually going to go down here and hit projection. All right, so you can see it's got my old one with the white borders. We don't want that. So you're basically just scrolling down and we're going to base color. Again, I'm going to clear this out so you can see what it looks like when you open it up. So again, we got to import our texture, import resources, and rinse and repeat, signs, okay, identify it, texture, we're not doing anything exciting yet, session, import. All right, so hopefully sign 2 will show up, and we want to drag this into our base color. All right, you could get it into where you could do height, roughness, and metallic. I want to keep this simple, but we're just doing a base color. So you would do those other layers if we were going to layer this down so it's not on the top surface. But anyways, this is fine enough for our first project. So we're going to drag this base color over. And again, you can use your S to zoom in, out, make these bigger. Again, if you do want good resolution on these, don't get these where they're bitmapped. All right, so we're just going to paint this on. All right, we're happy with that. And then maybe on the other side of this container is where they would have the safety information, what chemical this is. All right, extra points if you know what a 120 is, probably made up. I'm sure it's highly flammable. All right, so that is that. We can turn that off. And we have a couple decals. You can see they're quite fresh. They're sitting right on the surface. You can see they're being bumped up. You can sometimes pull these underneath, but we didn't do those different layers, so it's just going to sit on the very top surface here. All right, that is it. That's all I want you to do. Hopefully this is just a quick 2-day, but this is getting all the way through the pipeline. Maya, hard surface modeling. We did our hard edging. We also, by adding more geometry, we also right-clicked and selected all the edges and did a smooth. So it has a smooth look to it by using very, very little geometry. So it should be quite light. All right, you also learned how to UV map. Also, you learned in Maya how to identify the materials. So when we brought it in as FBX, Substance Painter understood the funnel side and top of this surface. All right, and you learned a little bit about Substance Painter, how to layer different layers of paint, and also how to procedurally start adding dirt and so forth. You should always be looking at your source material. Always think about the concept of what you're doing. What is this oil can for? Is this for a cargo ship? Is this for industry in the Northeast, or maybe it's California where it's a dry heat where there's no rust. So always think about your backstory and make sure your model is hitting the concept of what you're pursuing your practice of modeling for. All right, so now we're getting down to the very last thing is how do we export this so this looks absolutely stunning and it looks exactly like what we have here in Substance Painter for either Unity. The big thing is, my thing is Unreal, just because it's really amazing graphics. All right, so we're at the very last stage, and you guys have to do it for your final turn-in. So we're going to hit Export Mesh, which is the exact mesh, but it actually has built in with it not the textures, but the materials, how they're going to be applied. Now we do want to apply triangulation to this. So you can try it on and on without. It's good to experiment. I always do this. I don't know why. Maybe I've heard about it in the past. All right, so we're going to go to our soft modeling class I think this is in. Let's see, where did I put this? No, it was a trash can. Trash can. I thought it was under a trash can. There we go. All right, and we're going to go and just make a new folder. Export, add the paint. All right. All right, so we're gonna hit oil can, final, however you wanna call it. And it's gonna make it OBJ, which is fine. Very quick, it comes in and out. It's almost the same, except that it does triangulate it, which some game engines prefer that. So it just depends on where you want to go with it, if you want that in or out of the game engine. I may do another tutorial showing how to bring in the textures. All right, so we are going to export textures. All right, and these are all the templates. And really quickly, you've got Arnold, you've got Amazon, you've got all these different types of things. So you can see all the different unities and then also the Unreal. All right, so when you select this from down here, it doesn't mean that you're exporting it out. You still have to go through settings and tell where to go. So we're gonna go to our oil can, export paint, and hit open. All right, we're telling it where to go. And then again, we're gonna select Unreal Packed 4. If you're doing skin shader materials, you'd use your 4SSS packed. I usually just do this since it's very simple. PNG 8-bit. You can also tell it what size. So let's do 2K. Now, if you're really going to go do some Uber stuff, I would do 4K. So let's go ahead and hit export. Okay, I think it did it all. Let's go ahead and cancel. And so let's look at our, oops. All right, so I pulled it up really quickly, and we're gonna look at our export paint. And so we look at our mesh is 148 kilobyte, tiny. So it's perfect for a game engine. And then we can open up our base color. And you can see that is for our top. And so our base color for our midsection of our can. You can see our decals and all that. So what's also in there is also our normal map. So this is all the stuff that really makes it pop out, all those different little metallic surfaces. And so this is all the beautiful stuff that you will need to add into Unreal to make it work. All right, let's stop there. I may or may not do another tutorial to show you how to get all this into Unreal. Good luck.